so on the front page of the Daily Graphic, boost for shares sector, 1,000 seedlings planted in Savannah Ecological Zone. First National Bank signs 5-year Accra Marathon deal. More young people express interest in agric-vocational skills. And that's by research. Leaked tape on IGP. First tape doctored. Parliamentary committee affirms. Yeah, and so that's what we have for the Daily Graphic.
You know, per what they've been saying, I have a problem with the use of the term doctor.
Doctored.
You see, because for example, if there's a phrase and you say, oh, he is such a dog because right? Now, if that's the voice you hear on the tape, he is such a dog. Then another tape comes out and it says, he's such a crazy dog. That's doctored.
Yes.
Because you remove
the word
you
crazy.
remove something from it to create a certain impression or to create a diversion or to create a certain, falsify the perception of what people will receive, right? But if it's truncated, that's not doctored. So we need to know whether it is because they say that it's a longer version that has come. Longer version means, was the first one cut short or were bits removed? Because if bits were removed from the shorter one, right, not like it is cut short, but bits have been removed to make it give a certain narrative. Do you get it? Then that's doctored. But that's not the impression I'm getting. So we want to hear from the committee whether, bits were removed from it or it's just shorter.
Yes, yeah.
Because if it's just shorter, that's not doctoring.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Doctoring is a more deliberate, sinister activity that creates a certain impression. You see. So anyway, yeah. I have the Ghanaian Times. Vancouver and Sawam Road project, 40% complete. Okay, we have here government committed to protecting legitimate mining operations. This is coming from the Lands Minister. And plot to remove IGP. Kandapar appears before committee. And that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the Ghanaian Times.
All right, so on the Daily Guide, we have IGP Kokonsna tape doctored, and that's by Atta Achia. Jilted fetish priest cuts off ex-girlfriend's arm. In this Ghana.
Okay.
Race for NPP flag bearer. Kennedy, Baumia pick number 1 and 2. Inflation drops to 40.1%. Convict chases judge in courtroom after sentencing.
Okay.
This paper really has interesting headlines.
I have the Chronicle with also some interesting headlines. Newmont Africa addresses reports of arrest of concerned farmers in relation to Ahafo North. The story is on page 4 of the Chronicle. We have AMA boss launches Assembly's 125th anniversary. I'll win MPP presidential primaries. This is Dr. Efria Okoto speaking. You know, I find it interesting.
Why?
Alan did better than him. Alan has resigned. He is still in the race, saying he will win.
It's faith.
Faith.
It's called faith.
Faith.
Yes.
You know there's a thin line between faith and other things.
The Lulu.
Please, I have not said anything. I said faith and other things. Mahama is deceiving cocoa farmers. They have not been shortchanged in new producer price. This is, it has a photo there of Richard Ahiagba of the MPP speaking. The scripture for today on the front page of the Chronicle, it says here, Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. And Jesus answered and said to them, see to it that no one misleads you. Okay. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the Business Finder here, and on the front page of the Business Finder, cocoa price. NPP farmers paid 70.03% of $2,600 FOB. NDC farmers paid 61.71% of $2,950 FOB. Adhere to high ethical standards. Governor tells banks and financial institutions.
All right. Let's go to citynewsroom.com. We have a few headlines there. On the front page, on citynewsroom.com, we have some stories here. Government shortchanged cocoa farmer cocoa farmers on new price. This is the new price increases coming from the minority in Parliament. And of course, that was the reaction that the NPP was having, to that. Some of the top trending stories we have in the Futu: 405 people test positive for hepatitis B virus. That's very serious. We have focus on improving value chain for cocoa farmers. PPP tells government. We have Adjoa Window urges government to scrap taxes on sanitary pads. Yes, and there was a story about a 13-year-old girl leaving school to go to the market to do business, to raise money.
Just to buy pads.
To buy pads. And I heard that this morning in the news somewhere. Yeah, no, listen, we need to do something about this.
But it's just sad because we've been talking about this for a very long time, and it seems like nobody's flinched.
Yeah, but, well, you see, the thing is that the decision makers, they have money to buy their wife and kids pads. You see. So they don't see that it's a problem. And they don't buy it themselves. They just say, oh, collect. So they have no idea what it means.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they sit at tables taking decisions about people who literally cannot afford the product. And so will use the most unhygienic means to manage. Some few other headlines for you. We have Voice Factory Season 5 Grand Finale. Meet the 11 contestants vying for the top prize on Saturday. So the story's there on citinewsroom.com. A few other headlines here. Minority demands resignation of Cocoa Board CEO over mismanagement. Also, government announces fresh DDEP for ESLA and Dache bondholders. NPP presidential race. Ken Ejapong will give Baumia a showdown. This is coming from Kwame Owusu. You know this showdown business? There was a video this morning I saw. I think it was from yesterday. I think when he picked the number 1 position. You know they balloted, right?
Yes.
And so Ken Ejapong picked number 1 position on the ballot. Baumia picked number 2. And then it goes down the line like that, yeah. So I don't know whether it was at that point, the point where he was dancing, but he was dancing. He was doing some pretty neat Azonto moves.
He dances well.
Yeah. Anyway, so a couple more before we go. For sports, Ghana Highway Authority begins demolishing abandoned tow booths on Tema Motorway, and of course we saw some footage of that yesterday as they began late in the afternoon. Leaked tape. Parliamentary committee to resume sittings on October 2nd. So go to citinewsroom.com for all your news updates, okay? And Citi Business News for all your credible business news updates. And we have Citi Sports Online, and we also have Ghana Weekend for entertainment and showbiz news. Sports is next. Don't go anywhere. All right, so it's time for some sporting updates, and we have some local news. And Ghana's Black Queens are getting ready to face Rwanda in the first round of qualifiers for the 2024 Women's AFCON tournament. Now, 23 players have been called by the team's head coach, Nora Hutla. Apparently, it's not Hoptel, it's pronounced Hutla. Okay, and they are in camp preparing for the tie. Now the Queens will fly to Rwanda on the 17th of September and finish their preparations for the first leg, which will be played on the 20th in Kigali. The second leg will be played in Ghana on September 26th. And so that's what we have for the Women's AFCON. Now, Jurgen Klopp, this is some international news. Jurgen Klopp is not available for the vacant Germany head coach job. His agent has confirmed. Of course, this is after the sacking of Hansi Flick. Now, the Liverpool manager's agent, Mark Kosick, said that he would be honoring his contract with Liverpool, which expires in June 2026. The Germany job came up for grabs when Hansi Flick was sacked on Sunday following a humiliating 4-1 home defeat to Japan. However, Klopp will not be in the running, according to his agent. Klopp has been among the favourites for the position, alongside Julian Nagelsmann, Matthias Sammer, and Oliver Glasner. The German FA will reportedly hold talks with the former two. All right, so that's what we have for the sporting updates 14 review for this morning.